Hello there. Let's see how we doing. Restream. Excellent. And Dex looks good. Twitch is looking good. And we got YouTube looking good. And Kick. Alright. We are looking good. Get the show started here in a few minutes. Let's see. Botrix is joined the channel. Reminder that let me just hold on ingredient. Okay. Yeah, tomorrow. Well, today. Let's look at our schedule that we got here. Let's look at the schedule. And today is Monday, so we got A Man's Truth. Tomorrow, we're going to take over the world. And Wednesday, we get A Woman's Truth. Then we get Thursday, a relationship truth, and a recap. You know, I'm thinking I'm getting a bunch of historical items. I may update this to historical truth. I don't know. Anyway, science truth and a... what did I say? Religious? Religious truth. Yeah. That's what we'll be up to in the coming week. I should actually even post... I've got weeks worth of stuff. I might even start, posting in the Discord the actual videos that we'll be going over. Anybody out there? Hello? Hello? Anybody say hi? Oh, hang on. Got a message in Twitch. Oh, I didn't know that was the thing. I reacted to my story. Cool. I didn't know that. Cool. Kibera? What can I do with that? I don't know. I'll click on it. Hey. I don't remember. Oh, showing my dinner. Oh, yeah. That reminds me. I gotta make some more chicken. Somehow I broke my frame here. Okay, hang on. We go like that. Go like that. That's good. Time we got 5:55. Tonight's we're talking about, guys, find your Ugly Duckling, or How to Find a Good Woman. It's a talk done by Dr. Orion Terabang. It should be pretty cool. Take some notes, and we'll take some notes, and here's what I'm gonna step away. I gotta just realize I'm out of water. Be right back. Okay. All right. I am back. Got my water. Time we got 3 minutes before the show starts. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ooh. Thank you, Gar.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air.
Okay.
Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist in the air. Raise your fist
2 minutes. I used to have a
in the air.
countdown timer on the starting soon. Where is it? I lost my timer, man. Huh. Okay. No, that didn't do anything. All right, I don't know. Yeah, beats me. What happened to my timer? All right, what do we got? Less than a minute? Something like that? Ooh. Oh, interesting. I just realized I don't have an auto switcher set up. Okay, here we go. I was gonna kick on the audio switcher, but now we'll go right here. Hi, how you doing? Welcome to the shoe. Bring that down a bit. There we go. Well, welcome in. Yeah, this is the crazy project they can't succeed. How crazy? Well, we'll be revealing our plan tomorrow night to take over the world. We do have some basic things that, I need to put documents and stuff together for. Hey, and the first one, if you're watching, one, we're all on the pale blue dot. We're all here. Two, we only know what bits of reality we've vacuumed up as we go. That's all we know. The other thing, in groups need to be expanded to include everyone. Always, and the fourth one, always be curious, to believe in as many true things as possible. And fifth, you are having a biological experience. You are in a body. No matter how you slice it, you're in a body. So, yeah, we're going to talk about, how to hopefully take care of the brain sac and the and the body. As much as my experience allows me to vacuum up, that'll be the case. So yeah, that's why each night here I'm talking about something different, like a man's truth, woman's truth, relationship truth. I'm thinking maybe Friday might be historical truth, because, oh boy, we need some of that. Science truth and religion truth. That's how we're gonna do it. And might come up with other truths, because I'm going through material and really finding very thought-provoking material. If you're wondering kind of what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to curate content that gets people thinking in those areas. And I have no problem ever talking about anything, because we all are just vacuuming stuff up into our little reality that we each have. So I don't know what bits you got sucked up. So we need to talk about the bits that we have. That's how I view it. So the only way we can do that is conversation. So let's talk. That's my idea. So let's go over to, with that preamble out of the way, let's go over to the tonight's video, which is by Dr. Orion Taraban. He's a PhD kind of doctor, and his psychology. And here's his guys, Find Your Ugly Duckling, or How to Find a Good Woman. So we'll take a look at this, and we'll stop at some points. Oh, wait, I got to turn off that music. Thank you. Their epidemic sound. And we'll go ahead and play this video. We'll, hop in, say a few words here and there, but I stress I'm standing on giants here. I would not have the story to convey without them. They are the real. I'm a connect the daughter. That's what I am. And I'm just trying to do. So let's connect some dots.
Better living through psychology. The topic of today's short talk is find your ugly duckling. I did one for the ladies. Now this one's for the men. Hey fellas, I'm talking to you today. And I'm going to share with you what I believe to be an optimal dating strategy with respect to finding a suitable female partner. As a guy, I know that we're primarily attracted to physical attributes. And you know what? God bless it. There's nothing quite like a beautiful woman, right? However, this priority can really get a guy into trouble. Now, I'm 39 years old, and I've dated many, many women in my life, including some that I would consider 9s and 10s, like internationally gorgeous women. And while this wasn't universally the case, many of those women were extremely difficult to be in a relationship with for a variety of reasons. One of them we could call a sense of entitlement. I remember I was once in a relationship with a woman. She was 25 years old at the time, and she told me I was the first man who had ever told her no. Can you imagine what that would do to a person? Being an incredibly beautiful woman is kind of the equivalent of being some billionaire's scion. You just grow up with this extremely distorted view of life and other people. Do you think folks like this typically have the emotional intelligence, let alone the distress tolerance, to enter into a normal give and take relationship? I mean, temper tantrums are not a good look at any age, but they are really ugly at 25 or 35 for that matter. Here's another reason. It's often the case that when women blossom earlier in life, they can receive the kind of attention and priority that disincentivizes them from developing other aspects of themselves, their personality, their interests, their skills, their career, the kinds of things that make them good and interesting and lovable, and the kinds of things that make it easier to have a relationship with them. And let me tell you, the older I get, the more effortlessness in a relationship matters to me. I have a lot going on, and the woman I'm looking for needs to be able to seamlessly integrate herself into that frame. The more friction there is, the more the relationship draws time, energy, and attention away from the great things that we both could otherwise be experiencing. You get what I'm saying? So, man, my advice to you is to look for your ugly duckling. This is an allusion to that Hans Christian Andersen story about a weird-looking duck who grew up to be a beautiful swan. Some women blossom at different stages in life. And I've dated some very, very attractive women who didn't really come into their own into their late 20s or even their early 30s. I know this because I've seen their pictures, and I honestly think they're better looking today than they were 10 years ago. And these women have all been significantly easier and more satisfying to relate to than the 9s and 10s. They are still plenty attractive, but they frankly just have more to offer than their looks. To find an ugly duckling, you need to pay attention to her stories. Maybe she never had a boyfriend in high school, or she was reserved in college. This can mean that she was devoting time and energy to developing herself, or some other character building exercise, like starting a business or caring for a loved one. It also likely means that she doesn't take male attention for granted. I get it. Some of those Instagram girls are total smoke shows. However, if you're going after a woman like that, get ready to compete with 10,000 other guys. And now you have the same problem as the women that are hanging out at the winner's circle. It's probably not going to work out. And you could waste a good deal of time, energy, and money in the process. Your attention will also not be valuable to one of those women, but it might be to an ugly duckling. Now, obviously, you need to be authentically attracted to this woman. That's the beautiful swan part of the story. But a late blooming, after a potentially awkward character development phase, can be a very positive sign for mate selection. This kind of forces her to develop other parts of herself independent of her looks, and it increases the value of your attention and relationship. What do you think? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. And if you'd like to schedule a consultation, you can reach me at psychaxpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
So, excuse me. Yeah. So, essentially, try and sum it up here. Um, well, I would say simple advice, look for if you're a guy, look for someone you're attracted to that doesn't I don't know. I guess you'd say actively seek out male attention. Is that kind of a good way, or doesn't prioritize it? I guess that would be the idea. I think that's not too unreasonable. That women that are late bloomers have more to offer. Just life, I think. So that was our video for tonight. Anyone got any questions? Answers? Critique? Blah, blah, blah. All right. Well, it's only been live for 12 minutes. There is a lot more. Maybe I can show you. This is another episode of Dr. Orion Terabon on the Psychax. There he is. And this is his another video that I was watching in the same series. I mean, I'm finding lots of good stuff. So here's another one. It's pretty good. That applies to men.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psychax, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is put her to work. Put her to work, gentlemen. This is going to be an important episode for you. Putting a woman to work is a very important precept, and it will help men have the kinds of relationships they tell me they're looking for with the women of today. So let's get to it. A lot of men complain to me that they can't find women who are looking to provide value in their relationships. They're finding takers, not givers. These men are looking to get their needs met in a relationship, and they often lament that the women they are meeting just seem interested in kind of being taken care of, as if they were adult dependents. And while there absolutely are women who just seem to want to be treated like princesses or spoiled like bratty children, I would say the majority of women aren't actually looking for this kind of dynamic. In my experience, most women are interested in helping, in supporting the men they really want to be in relationships with. The catch is they need to really want to be in a relationship with you in order for them to enthusiastically show up in this way. So men can't conflate the fact that apparently women aren't interested in providing value to them with the fact that women aren't interested in providing value to men in general. As I've said before, all men pay. But the more she likes you, the greater the discount. If a woman doesn't really like you, if she doesn't feel that just being with you is intrinsically valuable, the more she is going to demand, either directly or indirectly, the provision of value to compensate her for the opportunity cost associated with prioritizing a less attractive option. You feel that associated with prioritizing a less attractive option. It is what it is. And when men invest in...
Okay, hang on. We got him back here. Okay, here's the point. Let's see. Can I get that? Do it again.
In order for them to enthusiastically show up in this way. So men can't conflate the fact that apparently women aren't interested in providing value to them with the fact that women aren't interested in providing value to men in general.
Right.
As I've said before, all men pay. But the more she likes you, the greater the discount. If a woman doesn't really like you, if she doesn't feel that just being with you is intrinsically valuable, the more she is going to demand, either directly or indirectly, the provision of value to compensate her for the opportunity cost associated with prioritizing a less attractive option, you.
Got that? So, if the lady you're with thinks you're a good option, then you're going to have smoother sailing than the one who thinks you need to compensate her because you're not.
It is what it is. And when men invest in their own attractiveness and level up their fitness and fashion and status and wealth and game and humor and lifestyle, the more they will encounter women who are not only interested, but enthusiastic about giving them what they want. This isn't something that is discussed like at all in today's day and age, but most women actually want someone to care for. Why do you think so many single women have dogs or fur babies, as they call them? Most women kind of need someone to worry about and fuss over and nurture. Otherwise, they feel something is missing or they go a little off the rails. In fact, this is the best explanation I've ever heard for why women disproportionately suffer from anxiety disorders relative to men. Women are twice as likely to be diagnosed with an anxiety disorder than men are. Is it because their uterus, or in Greek, their hyster, is wandering around their body causing trouble, which is the origin of the word hysterical? Or is it possibly due to the fact that women are alone in the 21st century in a way that women have never, ever been alone in the history of humanity? Like, in terms of human evolutionary history, the single independent woman is a newborn, less than 1 day old. For hundreds of thousands of years, women lived with their families and then lived with their husbands, with whom they started their own families. If a woman were to lose her husband, she would move in with one of her children, or the community would take care of her. A woman was like never alone. So the evolutionary explanation for high anxiety in women is basically that women have evolved to be anxious for 2 or 3 or 5, because the social role of women has been to bear and raise children who are often too stupid to know what to be afraid of. Like, a kid will try to eat poisonous berries or walk into a river or do all kinds of stupid shit. So women have evolved like this heightened anxiety response because they have had to care for things too dumb to know what to fear. They needed excess anxiety. In any case, a lot of women have this instinct, this impulse to nurture and help and care. And when they don't have someone to do these things for, they can go a little nutty. The issue is that they don't want to do these things for just anyone, which of course is perfectly understandable. They want to do them for the right men.
I don't
If
know
you appreciate the
about
insights on this
ad placement. Don't think I've got that enabled, but he's got a book. It's pretty good. Check out.
Now, modern courtship has completely lost sight of this reality. In general, women are considered the prize, and value is assumed to proceed from the men to the women. Attractive women act more and more like little celebrities, and men, despite their complaining, buy into it and compete with each other for the opportunity to buy them shit. And while this may be gratifying to some extent for the women to experience, it leaves this deeply ingrained impulse to care and nurture unfulfilled, which generally destabilizes the relationship. And it's frankly unsustainable from the men's perspective. This is because this is not the type of relationship that most men want. They just kind of think it's what they have to do to get the relationship they really want. This means that whether they're aware of it or not, most men are playing a game of bait and switch with women. They think that if they care for and nurture and invest in the women, okay, then at some point, the women will be motivated to reciprocate, which is much closer to the type of relationship they were looking for to begin with. The issue with this strategy, which I call the ferry boat captain, is that once you start ferrying a woman around, you can never stop ferrying a woman around. Like a ferry boat captain can't ever turn around and say to his passenger, hey, why don't you take me where I want to go for a change, huh? That passenger would get off the boat as quickly as possible because that's not what she signed up for, even though that captain may have faithfully performed his duties for decades. Do you understand? As I discuss at length in my book, a man should put a woman in the role he would like her to play in his life as early in the courtship as possible. Like if you want a first mate, don't invite her onto your ship as a pampered passenger. This helps ensure not only that everyone more or less understands what they're signing up for, but that the woman in question is actually a good fit for the role you would like her to play. Consider hiring for a position in the professional arena. Self-surveys and structured interviews are notoriously bad at giving employers good information on their prospective employees. But do you know what does provide good information? Work samples. Like, ask the employee to do the job you would hire them to do. It is very difficult to fake your way out of that one, and it completely bypasses a number of issues like demand characteristics and social desirability biases that plague these other approaches. This means, men, that if you want a woman who provides value in your life, you have to put her to work. Ask her to do the things you want a woman to do for you as early as possible. This will also allow you to quickly and reliably gauge her interest and her character. How? Because a woman of either poor character or low interest is going to balk at your request. Good. This will help prevent you from misinvesting your necessarily limited resources in the wrong women. Consider it, once again, from a professional standpoint. If a manager were to approach an employee and tell her, hey, I've been thinking of you as a potential lead for this new project, and the employee were to respond, that's outside my pay grade. If you want more from me, then you need to pay me more. You can conclude a number of things. Either she is not very committed to her job, or she is very stupid. Like, good luck getting a promotion with that attitude. And this is because clever workers who are invested in a particular career trajectory do not see this new responsibility as a chore. They see it as an opportunity to show their quality, to demonstrate that they have executive potential or whatever it is. Like, how else do you expect to get the job if you never get the chance to show that you've got the chops for it? It's only the worker who isn't interested in the promotion who complains about doing more for less. And why the fuck would you promote such a worker? A woman of good character who is actually interested in you will see your requests as opportunities. Why? As I've mentioned previously, women's best long-term strategy and their best defense against being used purely for sexual gratification is to insinuate themselves into the economy of the ship. And they do that by assuming responsibility. Women, I want you to listen to me very carefully. A man who just wants to use you for sex won't ever ask you to do anything else. This is because he wants to be able to walk away from you at any time and keep his hands clean. A man who asks nothing from you is trying to keep his escape route clear. This is because the more responsibility a woman takes on, that is, the more she insinuates herself into his lifestyle, the harder and harder it becomes to extricate himself from that relationship without some measure of suffering or difficulty. Women, a man asking you to do things for him is one of the surest signs of his authentic interest in a long-term relationship. See these requests as opportunities to demonstrate your value and as a hedge against relational abandonment. And men, don't be afraid to ask women to do things for you. You will either get what you want or force her to show her true colors, which is a win either way. What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And please send this episode to someone who you think might benefit from its message, as it's word of mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow.
Absolutely. Let's get his link here. I'll throw that in the chat. Oh, I didn't put the other one in either. Let's do that too, because that was a good one. There's the links to those two videos. Awesome. And yeah. Where am I? Where's my camera back? Yeah, thank you, Dr. Chairbound. That's awesome stuff. Well, see, now we're at our half hour coming up. So maybe we'll just, play some more tunage. Might have to bring that down a bit. Yeah, there we go. And the schedule. So today was Man's Truth. And Tuesdays. Tomorrow, I might be pulling an all-nighter to pull this together. I don't know. We'll see. I'll start working on it after this. And then we've got Woman's Truth. And then Relationship Truth. Might do a history. Maybe we'll do recap. We'll see how it goes on Friday. Saturday, I'm going to do a science truth. And Sunday, a religious truth. All right. We shall see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. I'll start muttering a few minutes before that. And we shall see you tomorrow.